Hello and welcome to this short presentation about the 5 ways to well-being. My name is Miffy Hode and I'm one of the development officers with Mental Health Ireland. So in this presentation I'm going to talk to you about what well-being is, help you to explore what well-being means to you, and have a look at ways that we can boost and maintain our well-being on a daily basis and some tools to help us do that. So first of all, what is well-being? So I'm just going to invite you to take a moment to think of things that make you feel good. And you might want to jot these things down or make a note of them in some way. And also bring to mind how it feels when your well-being isn't so good. And what sort of things boost your own well-being personally. And what sort of things do you do to help boost your well-being? So some of these words here might have been things that you came up with, and maybe you came up with some of your own. The World Health Organization defines well-being as being present when a person realizes their potential, is resilient in dealing with the normal stresses of their life, takes care of their physical well-being, and has a sense of purpose, connection, and belonging to a wider community. It is a fluid way of being and needs nurturing throughout life. So I think that's important that we remember that it's fluid, that our well-being rises and falls throughout our lifetime for all sorts of reasons. And while life events can certainly impact our well-being, and when they're negative life events, they can impact our well-being negatively, just as positive ones boost our well-being and raise it. So too can activities that we engage in boost our well-being and our sense of feeling good about ourselves and life in general. So how do we measure well-being? Well, we can stop and think about it. We can ask ourselves, how do I feel right now? But here is a useful tool to help get a visual idea of how we can sort of measure our well-being. So if 0 is the poorest of well-being, where we're languishing and things aren't going well in our lives and we're not feeling very purposeful, all the way up to 100, where we're flourishing and life is absolutely fantastic. But generally speaking, we are somewhere around here when our well-being is good. Optimum well-being, while up there is fantastic, to be up in the 100, that's not necessarily sustainable any more than being at 0 is sustainable, you know. But when we're somewhere here, we're managing our lives, things are going well, and we're on top of things, we're able to cope, and we're doing things that are supporting us in our well-being. We'll explore this further. So the 5 ways to well-being are researched, evidence-based activities that we can employ in our daily lives that boost our well-being. The New Economics Foundation did a big body of research in 2008 in the UK, and we have permission to use their 5 ways to well-being to promote positive mental health and well-being. So the first of the 5 ways is to connect. And the research shows that when we have good, meaningful social connection on a daily basis, our well-being is better. And that means connecting with other people in a meaningful way. So that means having interesting conversations, sharing time with people doing things that we enjoy, enjoying relationships that are healthy and good for us. And that can be by telephone, by video chat, by some kind of social media and interaction. And it can be in person, so face to face with people we love, people we know, people we care about and are friends with. Obviously, in the current climate, with all the restrictions in place and what we're describing as social distancing, that doesn't mean that we have to be socially disconnected. Social distance is a different thing to social disconnection. So it's really important that we maintain our social connections no matter what the circumstances, because that keeps us healthy, happy and well. The second of the 5 ways is to be active, and the research shows that regular, moderate physical exercise is as good at treating moderate to mild depression as antidepressants are. And it can also go a long way to supporting people who have severe and enduring mental health issues as well. So being active means using your body, being physically active, and doing things that interest you in that. So it might be walking, running, jogging, skateboarding. It might be something like enjoying an online Pilates class, or doing just some dancing. Moderate exercise is exercise that raises your heart rate and gets your blood circulating, that you don't become so breathless that you can't hold a conversation, but that you can still talk to your buddy if you're exercising with somebody else. But to be active for the minimum of 30 minutes of moderate exercise, 5 days out of 7 for the average adult. Obviously, your physical activity has to be in line with what you're able for, but so choose an activity that you enjoy and that is within your capability, but be active 30 minutes, 5 days out of 7 at least, and preferably more. Take notice is another one of the 5 ways to well-being, and to take notice is about being present in the moment. It's about engaging in mindful activities that keep you present. So we can spend a lot of time in the past in our heads, worrying about things that have happened or ruminating over them. We can also spend a lot of time in the future, worrying about what might happen, things that may be coming down the line, but we're not sure of, but we spend a lot of time there anyway, even though they might not happen at all. So being present in the moment helps us to engage with what's actually happening here and now. That's not always pleasant either, but it helps us to remain with what is instead of what might be. So taking notice is a mindfulness practice as well as anything else. It's being aware of how we're feeling, maybe how other people are feeling, and what's going on around us. Taking notice of nature, taking notice of animals and pets, and taking notice of our well-being. Keep learning is another of the 5 ways to well-being. And keep learning can be in a formal academic sense, so that might be school, college, exams, degrees, whatever it is that you're interested in. Or it can be informal learning, so that can be learning a new sport or a new dance move. It could be learning a new recipe or a new form of arts and crafts. It might be learning about something that you're interested in, like your family tree, let's say. Whatever it is that you're interested in, learn more about it. Set yourself a challenge to learn something new every day. It might be how to say hello, how are you in a foreign language. But every day you're learning something new. It's good for your brain and it's good for your well-being. And where you're learning something you're interested in, you are generating interest, ambition, enthusiasm, and all of those things help to generate hope, and hope is good for our well-being as well. The last of the 5 ways to well-being is to give, and that could be to give of your time, your expertise, maybe your strength, whatever it is that you've got to offer that could help somebody else in your life. You can volunteer on a formal basis, or you can just give of yourself freely. The research shows that people who give of their time, their expertise, whatever it is they have to give without expectation of reward, have much better health outcomes and are much happier in general in their lives. Their well-being scores are always high in people who give generously of their time. It might just be random acts of kindness, letting somebody out in traffic, holding a door for somebody, giving somebody a parking ticket that's still got 40 minutes on it, making a cup of tea for somebody you love and telling them that you're grateful for what they do for you every day, whatever it is. But giving, and don't forget to give to yourself sometimes too. That's always good for our well-being as well. So if we revisit our well-being line and have a look at how sometimes life impacts our well-being and how we feel about life, and sometimes those life events can bring our well-being down here somewhere. Well, if you imagine a situation where maybe you're not feeling so good and you have a look at your well-being line and you say, gosh, you know, I'm down here somewhere today, and I have been for a few days now. Well, if you were to connect with a friend or somebody you know and love, and maybe agree with that person that, you know, I'm not feeling so good right now, maybe we could get together. And so you might choose to go for a walk with that person, and just knowing that you've made that connection, that you've reached out to somebody, brings your well-being up a little. And then going and doing some physical activity, going for a walk, or going to the woods for a walk in nature with your friend or your family member, and that brings your well-being up another wee bit. And while you're there, you notice the trees and you see some nice birds or a wild animal or a swan on a lake or something nice that boosts your well-being as well. And then maybe you come home and you do a bit of research about this new plant that you saw there, and you also give some time and space to the person that you're with, and they give time and space to you. And before you know it, your well-being has come up. It hasn't changed the fact that you've had an event in your life that has impacted you, but what it has done is it has given you other things to focus on and other things that boost your well-being. And so it's really important to keep doing things that boost your well-being. Keep doing things, because life keeps happening to us. Events will always occur, and there'll always be things going on in our lives. Some are stressful, some not. But these things are always available to us. The 5 ways to well-being are always available to us as tools to help support us on that ongoing fluid nature of well-being that needs to be supported throughout our life. So you will have received a little activity sheet in which you can fill in your own evaluation of how you engage with the 5 ways to well-being at the moment. And you can also have a look at ways that you might want to improve your well-being through engaging with the 5 ways, and what that might look like for you. So choosing ways to connect with other people, choosing ways to be active, choosing ways to take notice and keep learning and give as part of your own daily maintenance of your well-being. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your time, for listening. I hope you've learned something interesting and found out about ways that you can support your well-being from this presentation. I look forward to talking to you again in further presentations where we will be looking at reducing stress, raising resilience, and we'll have a look at mindfulness. So for now, goodbye.